What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Patrick and this is Valor Aquaponics. I'm going to do a shorter video for you guys today. We're going to be focusing strictly on the trout pond, kind of the update of what's going on, what happened, and what's going to happen. So once again, I'm going to try to keep this super short. I'm going to try to make some shorter videos. I know the last one was super long, so but I hadn't made a video in like 3 months. So let's get started. I'm going to take you over to the trout pool and we can have a chat. So this, as many of you guys know, is our trout pool. As you can see, it's actually really clear. So the water is really clear, and there's a reason for that, and a lot of you guys know, some of you guys don't. We had a power failure almost a month ago, so it was, I believe, on the 16th of December. We had a power failure in the middle of the night, about 4:30 in the morning, and by the time I came in, which was about 9:30, the trout had been without oxygen. So none of these aerators were working, so there was no dissolved oxygen. They were depleting all their oxygen. So I quick ran and got a generator, came back, got it started, but by the time I was able to get the aerators back on, the trout had already started dying. And when it was all said and done, we lost 99.9% of the trout, probably like 99.8. It ended up being like $4,000 with the trout. We also lost some perch, but the majority of our losses were from the trout. So before, you couldn't even see down here because there were so many trout in here and they were so large, they would stir up some of this, the silt. So luckily, the positive is that with not having trout in here, or not having a lot of trout in here, it's been able to clear up. So the water is super clear. We're trying to figure out how to clean up some of the silt. Maybe push it over to there so that it can get pumped out. So I also wanted to show you guys this. Let me zoom in for you guys. So I don't know if you guys, he's a little hard to see. Where'd he go? Oh, he's right there. Right there. So that is our lone survivor right there. That is our lone rainbow trout. It's currently eating right now. So what you see, the brown is pellets. So it is pellet trained. It's a fairly decent sized trout. I would say it's about 16 inches, 14, 16 inches. Not huge, but a decent size. We thought that there was a second trout, and maybe there is, but we haven't been able to see them both, mainly because of the ripples. So when it's hard to sometimes see, especially when it's a dark fish with a dark liner. So we haven't been able to see two at the same time. So we're just assuming that this is the only one that's left. Like I said, I thought there were two. I've only been able to see one at a time. So I thought there was one that was a little bit smaller than that. Once again, I cannot find it. It might be over somewhere else. They are really skittish. So what we're kind of doing right now is, so I actually turned off the chiller. Don't mind the spider webs. We're actually going to be clearing all of this out this week. We're gonna do a little maintenance on the spider issue here. So the spiders are getting out of control. So we gotta tame them down a little bit. So we're gonna get pretty much all these spiders out. So just don't mind that. But I mean, if you think about it though, it's actually a good thing because I mean they're killing bugs and stuff like that. So, but anyway, I digress. So this is our chiller. We were running this basically 24/7 for this much water, or not 24/7, but at least a good chunk of the day. Keep this water down to about 63 degrees. The water temperature, I just topped it off actually, or I didn't top it off, but I just filled it up a little bit more, and so the water temperature is about 64.5 degrees. And the plan is to actually bring about 6 or 7 of our largest koi over here. We have some really big koi. At least the length of that for most of them. Maybe 1 or 2 that are longer. They're definitely fatter than that one. But we don't want this fish to get lonely, so Trout tend they like to swim as a group, so we don't want to stress this fish out anymore by having it be by itself. So we're going to bring some of the koi in, and the koi shouldn't mess with the trout, and the trout shouldn't mess with the koi. The koi are too big for that to try to eat, for that to eat them. So we're hoping that the koi are just going to help it, kind of give it a little herd mentality. So kind of maybe let it relax. But the biggest issue is we now have to let the water warm up, and the problem with that is that we insulated this pool so well. So this is a custom built pool that we made, mainly because we built this at the start of COVID, and we could not get an above ground pool for a reasonable price. I mean, those Intex pools were selling for like $3,000-$4,000, and they're really only, I mean, they typically only sell for like $400. So we weren't about to pay that. So so this is actually steel reinforced, wood framed, and insulated pool, and this is our 45 mil pond liner that we have. And so underneath this is a layer of actual house insulation, and then so it's foam insulation though, and then behind that is our steel frame that's within the wood frame. So this is the wood frame. Actually, there's actually beyond the insulations, there's actually plywood, and then there's the framing, and then there's plywood on the outside. So it's got a lot of insulation. And the good thing is that when the water is cool, it stays cool. The downside is if you want to raise the temperature, it's going to take forever. And yeah, we could slowly add hot water, but you remember with fish, they need to acclimate slowly to water changes. Even something as simple as 2 degrees could potentially kill your fish. So the thing is we have to gradually and slowly raise this temperature up, especially since we want to get this temperature about 67 to 68 degrees. That's currently what the koi fish are at over at some of the other ponds. One of them's at 69. So if we can try to get it to about 68 degrees, it'll help a lot with acclimation. I try to acclimate fish. They say you can acclimate fish to within 1 degree of similar water temperatures. I try to do it within a half a degree. I found that it's just, I mean, as close as you can get to identical water parameters, is better. I mean, they all use the same source of water, so that's not the problem. It's just the temperature of the water. So as soon as this temperature goes up, and I'm hoping that it doesn't take weeks, I'm hoping that it'll just take maybe 4 or 5 days. However, the last time, I mean, I've been noticing I have a thermometer in here at all times, and it takes a while. So you might see some of the debris in here. So that's PVC that fell in. That's PVC that fell in, and that's actually an underwater camera right there. That's a big slab of rock. So we're gonna clear some of that out. Another rock there, and then this is our filtration. The water is coming out nice and clear. We actually have a UV filter right over here. It's actually adding some bubbles, and that's actually for our chiller, which it's not on, but the pump is still running. Mainly because I don't want this to freeze. I don't want anything to happen to that. So we're just going to let that continue to run, or at least pump the water through. Eventually we might have to chill the water come summer, but that's pretty much the goal though. We're going to put the big koi in here, get 6 or 7. They're going to love it in here. They're going to grow tremendously bigger in here, having more space. And it'll be nice to actually see them in here, give them the space that they deserve, because 300 gallons is just not big enough for some of our koi now. So that's the goal, that's the plan. I'm hoping that it doesn't take too long. When we do get ready to move the koi, I will try to videotape it. I will try to record it and post it. He's still eating. So and then so what's the plan for rainbow trout? We still want to do rainbow trout because they have multiple great uses. They're a great fish to eat. It's very popular in Wisconsin. Their eggs, or otherwise known as roe, is actually highly valuable for higher end restaurants. So it's similar to caviar. So it's essentially it's caviar, but caviar is sturgeon eggs, and roe is trout eggs. So you can't call trout eggs caviar. So we do want to, and then we also want the eggs so that we can actually start raising our own fish, so that we're not constantly buying fish. So that's the goal. Unfortunately, with it being winter, it's too late in the year in Wisconsin. I mean, it's currently 23 degrees right now without the wind chill. I think with the wind, it's down into the teens, easily into the teens. So there's no way on God's green earth that we're going to be able to get any kind of fish in here till probably April, most likely May. And we would love to replenish our stock of rainbow trout. So that's kind of the gist of where we're at. Thankfully, the plus side to not being able to get the fish right now is that we actually don't have the funds to purchase. It would cost us about $700-800, at least $700-800, probably close to $1,000 to replace these trout. Especially because we would probably go with a little bit bigger. When we got these guys, that guy, he was merely about 2 inches long, 2-3 inches long. So we would want to try to get like 4 to 6 inch, maybe even bigger, just to kind of speed up the process, because we've had him and all of his former friends for about 1.5 years. So we raised them from fingerlings, and you know it's almost a full size. It's not really a full size. They can get 3 feet. But yeah, I mean, I guess the silver lining is that we can't afford to replace the fish right now. We do have a GoFundMe if you guys want to help. The link's in the description. So it gives us time to try to raise up some money. And then at the same time, it allows us to move some of the koi over here and give them more space. What happens once we're ready for more rainbow trout, we'll figure that out later on. But for now, we're just kind of focusing on the present. We do have another above ground pool that's still sitting brand new in a box. So we might use that. We might build another pool. We might be in a different facility. Who knows what's going to happen? So because there's so many questions going into spring and summer, we're not going to try to figure that out today or tomorrow or even the next month. So we're just going to focus on the present, take care of our fish now. We do have some baby koi fish that we can move in to replace some of the fish that we're taking out of the 300-gallon pools. And so it kind of works out to our benefit. So that's basically what we're at. You know, if you guys like this video, if you guys like our content, please give us a thumbs up. Please leave a comment. Also, please subscribe to our videos. I know sometimes it gets dry, but this is kind of more informational. It's more tutorial. If you guys want more information on like kind of how we do stuff and how we take care of the fish and how we seed and all that stuff, I'll be more than happy to show you guys. You know, the goal is to eventually get this channel monetized. We're not monetized yet just because we don't have the watch hours. So we would love to get monetized with 100% of the proceeds going to basically like pay for feed for him and basically getting him some new friends, upgrading our facilities, you know, just like if we're going to stay here another year, we have to pay for air conditioning, so we have to figure out air conditioning solution for this building because it gets too hot in the summer and we end up having vegetable loss. So so if you guys can help, please share our videos, please like, please subscribe. You know, once again, we're still looking for investors, so if you know anybody that wants to invest, if you're interested in investing, you can either use our WeFunder link below, or you can contact us directly through our email, which is fresh@valoraquaponics.com. So that's where I'm going to leave you guys. I'm going to try to leave this video at about 15 minutes. You know, I'm not going to try to make that 40-minute video again. So I really appreciate you guys watching this video. I really appreciate you guys constantly coming back and watching and keeping up with us and liking our videos. So once again, I hope you guys stay warm. You know, for all you Packer fans, go Packers. Got the #1 seed. Hope you guys enjoy week 18, or technically week 17, the 17th game. But you know, hopefully going to the playoffs, everything works out well for you guys and your team. So go Pack, go! And yeah, we'll see you guys soon.